So for weeks, the Liberals have faced a barrage of pressure to call a public inquiry after allegations that the Chinese government has meddled in Canadian elections. The government says attempts have been made for years, but Canada's elections integrity continues to hold. The Prime Minister announcing this week a yet-to-be-named special rapporteur who will investigate and decide whether Canada does need that public inquiry. And finally today, the government made good on a promise to start consultations on a foreign agents registry to track and prevent international meddling in Canadian elections. So let's bring in the minister responsible for that file. Public Safety Minister Marco Mendicino joins us right now. Thank you for joining us, Minister. It's good to have you in person on the show. So you're launching these consultations for this foreign agents registry, something you said you would do in December. We're now in March. You budgeted 2 months for this. Why can't you commit to a timeline to when this registry will be ready?
Well, first, it was good to be able to launch the official consultations for the creation of a foreign transparency registry, another tool which we will stack on top of the other new authorities and transparency mechanisms that we had put in place to fight foreign interference. We started it today. We plan to conclude the consultations by May 9th, so this is a focused timeline, but we're going to do the work of bringing Canadians along, give them access to how it is that we shape this authority. What is the threshold for using it? What are the goals? We want to promote transparency around legitimate activities related to foreign state actors, but we also want to deter and discourage those activities which go beyond and amount to foreign interference.
Clearly. So who, for instance, is on this registry? They exist in the United States. They exist in Australia. Who do you put on these registries?
I think those are exactly the type of questions that we are going to dig into. And as somebody who has worked in the criminal justice system with national security laws, it's important that we get the parameters of this program right. It's also important that this program is consistent with the Charter. My colleague, Minister Ng, was with me today when we launched this consultation. She spoke about the fear and the anxiety that is in the Chinese-Canadian community around the stereotyping and the fear of being painted with the same brush around us.
But you're not inventing anything new. This is something that already exists, right? So in other countries, there is a system. Who gets on those lists?
Well, what I was getting at is it is important that we bring all Canadians along in the creation of the parameters of the program, and that it is an instrument that follows the Charter. I also just want to stress, before you ask your next question, that since 2015, we have taken extraordinary action to combat foreign interference. We've given our national security agencies new threat reduction measure powers. We've cracked down on foreign funding that could be used to interfere with foreign elections. We have also created the National Security and Intelligence Committee of Parliamentarians, as well as an intelligence review agency to raise the bar of transparency so that Canadians can be reassured that we're doing this work in the right way.
Okay, but everybody's asking, why now? Why do you need to consult when there's a specific proposals, including one currently before Parliament, outlining how to set one up? So you probably already have done some of this work, and if you haven't, then my question will be, why did you wait this long when you yourselves in the House are saying, oh, this was happening even under the Conservatives? So it's been happening for a while. Why now and why not earlier?
Well, the Conservatives had opportunities to introduce this mechanism. They did not.
Yeah, but so did you.
We have put in place, I think, a lot of groundwork when it comes to fighting against foreign interference. And now we're going to have a national conversation about the creation of this foreign registry so that we can use it as another tool. It will not be a cure-all. Simply by passing this law and creating this instrument, it doesn't simply eradicate all foreign interference, but what it will do is it will help to address and mitigate the problem as stacked up on all of the other authorities and powers and transparency mechanisms that our government has put into place.
So, I'm curious about one thing. So you say that this has existed, this kind of attempted interferences in Canadian elections and in other parts of our society. It's been happening for a while. So why did it take these media reports for your government to take this kind of action?
Well, first thing I would point out is that the allegations and the concerns that have been raised around the 2019 and 2021 elections, they have by and large been examined by the site panel, those top-level public servants who looked at the elections and who verified that they were free and fair. And then you heard from Morris Rosenberg, former top public servant himself, say that there are a number of recommendations that we're going to work very closely with the public service to implement. And more recently than that, we are going to imminently appoint a special rapporteur who will work closely with the NCCOP and NSIRA, who have both been charged with the work of looking into foreign interference, so that we can map out the next best practical steps so that we can fight against foreign interference and protect our democratic institutions.
So as the public safety minister of a G7 country, I'm sure you talk to your counterparts. They're listening and hearing what is going on in Canada, because it makes headlines not only in our newspapers and our broadcasts, but abroad. What are they telling you? Are they saying we have the same problem? And if they do, what are they doing?
Well, I'm glad you raised that, because we do work closely with our G7 and Five Eyes partners. In fact, we created a rapid response mechanism so that we could mitigate against the kind of disinformation that has infected, not only attempted to infect Canadian democracy, but other like-minded democratic countries as well. This is another way in which we can look at intelligence, but we also need the space to be able to do it in a sphere that promotes trust and transparency, and that is why we created the NCCOP. NCCOP and NSIRA have robust access to classified information so that they can report to Canadians that our mechanisms and our authorities are working well, and where we need to make improvements, to make recommendations. In fact, one of the recommendations that came out of NCCOP we're acting on, which is the creation of a coordinator to fight against foreign interference that will be headed out of my department.
But these media reports that are coming out, like drip, 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 make your government look like, oh my God, we got to do something about this now, when you were aware that these things were happening. So I'm trying to understand why you didn't feel this urgency when these reports were coming to you from your various agencies. Even though they say the election was fair and square, I think that's a really important point to make. That nobody has said, even the leader of the opposition, that they were not fair and square. And I think we need to stress that. However, you knew that there was attempted interference, and we hear now what kind of attempted interference. Every day, it's like, you know, death by a 1,000 cuts for your government. You know, I want to know why, when you came into office, and you've been in power for many years now, it didn't dawn on you that this was going to become an issue. You've had many warnings, the two Michaels being the biggest one I can think of.
Well, I think that the creation of the threat reduction measure powers that we've given to our National Security Agency, the tough laws that we have put into place to crack down on foreign funding, the creation of the two independent site panels that have reviewed our two elections, the commitment to appoint a special rapporteur, the creation of NCCOP, the creation of NSIRA, and now the launch of a consultation to create a foreign transparency registry shows a government that is vigilant and very clear-eyed about the need to fight foreign interference.
Well, and the special rapporteur. So when do you figure this special rapporteur will be
as quickly as we can. As quickly as we can. We know that there are questions that are pressing. We know Canadians are concerned, but we need to be very, I think, forthright that we have and will continue to press this work ahead. And as soon as we've got some more news to share about that, Joyce, I'll be happy to come back on and tell you about it.
Because this story, Minister, is not going away. Marco Mendicino, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us.
Thank you, Joyce.